The cafe was quiet that afternoon, with only a few people inside. In the corner, a man sat at a table by himself. He was dressed sharply, looking like someone important. His eyes were focused on his phone, sipping black coffee. But there was something about him that made it clear he had power, real power. He was the kind of person who didn't need to try hard to be noticed. At the counter, a 10-year-old girl named Lily nervously counted the crumpled bills in her pocket. She was trying to make sure she had enough for a hot chocolate. It was a rare treat, one she had saved up for a while. With a deep breath, she told the barista, "One hot chocolate, please," her voice a little shaky but determined. She grabbed her drink and started to turn around when her eyes caught something. There, on the man's hand, was a gold ring. It was bold, with a blue sapphire, and it looked just like the one her mother wore. It was so familiar that Lily's heart skipped a beat. She couldn't stop herself. Without thinking, she walked up to him. "Excuse me, sir, my mom has a ring just like yours," she said, unsure of why she felt so certain that she had to speak up. As Lily turned, holding her cup of hot chocolate, her eyes fell on the man's hand resting on the table. The gold ring on his finger caught the light, and she couldn't help but stare. It was exactly like the one her mom wore, bold, with a small blue sapphire at the center. Her heart raced. Lily took a few steps forward, feeling nervous but needing to say something. "Excuse me, sir," she began, her voice shaky but determined. "My mom has a ring just like yours." She couldn't stop herself from speaking. It was like something inside her knew it was important. A tea first. The man didn't look up. He kept sipping his coffee and staring at his phone. He gave a small smile, barely acknowledging her, as if he didn't really believe her. "That's unlikely," he muttered, dismissing her words with a polite but distant tone. But there was something about the way she spoke, so sure, so innocent, that made him pause. Lily's heart beat faster, but she didn't give up. "No, really, my mom's is old and scratched, but it's the same. She says it's special." Lily wasn't ready to give up. She stepped a little closer, her eyes locked on the ring. "My mom's ring is old," she said, her voice softer but still clear. "It's scratched up and looks worn, but it's the same design. She says it's really special." The man's eyes flickered down to the ring, and something seemed to change in his expression. For a moment, he didn't say anything. His fingers tightened around the ring, almost as if he was holding on to something precious. The words "really special" echoed in his mind, and suddenly he was pulled back to a memory he hadn't thought about in years. A woman. The woman he had loved and lost. A matching ring, just like this one, was once given to her. He quickly pushed the thought away, but it wouldn't leave. This girl, so young and confident, had brought it all rushing back. He swallowed hard and asked, "What's your mom's name?" His voice was lower now, almost shaky. Lily looked up at him and said, "Her name is Emily Carter." At the sound of that name, the world seemed to stop. It hit him like a bolt of lightning. He couldn't believe it. The man's eyes went wide. His chair scraped against the floor as he suddenly stood up. "Your mother. Is she here?" His voice was shaky, filled with emotion he didn't expect. He couldn't believe what he had just heard. Emily Carter? It was the name of the woman he had loved many years ago, the one he had lost. Lily took a small step back, noticing the change in the man. He seemed so different now, his calm replaced by something more urgent. "She's at home," Lily replied quietly. "She hasn't been feeling well." Alexander's mind raced. All the power, wealth, and success he had built over the years seemed so meaningless now. His life, once filled with ambition, was now focused on something he hadn't thought about in a long time: love. Had life really brought him back to the woman he once let go of? He didn't know what to do, but he had to find out. With a deep breath, he knelt down to her level. "Lily, where do you live?" he asked, his voice filled with both hope and fear. Lily hesitated but saw something in his eyes, a kindness, a need to know. "Not far," she finally said. "A few blocks away." That evening, Alexander stood in front of a small, modest apartment. His heart pounded as he looked at the worn-out building. This was it. The place where Emily had lived all these years. His past and present seemed to collide in this moment. When the door opened, Emily was sitting on a couch, looking thinner than he remembered. Her face was older, but her eyes, the same deep, familiar eyes, widened in shock as she saw him. "Alex?" she whispered, her voice barely a sound. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The years between them felt like they had vanished. Finally, Alexander moved closer, his hands trembling as he reached for hers. "Emily, I never stopped thinking about you," he said softly. Tears filled her eyes as she looked at him, and Lily stood in the doorway, confused. "Mom, do you know him?" she asked. Emily let out a soft, tearful laugh. "Yes, sweetheart," she said, her voice shaking. "A long time ago." The next morning, Alexander made a promise. He wasn't just promising to Emily, but to Lily, too. He knew that this was his chance to make things right. He had spent so many years chasing after money and success, but now, for the first time, he wanted to do something that truly mattered. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the gold ring. It had always meant so much to him, but now it represented something even more important. He placed it gently in Emily's hands. "This time," he whispered, "I won't let go." Emily looked down at the ring, tears filling her eyes as she held it in her palms. The past had been full of mistakes, but in that moment, it felt like a new chapter was beginning. Lily, standing between them, watched the two of them, knowing that this was the start of something she had always wanted. A family healed by time, love, and a promise that would never break. As the days passed, Alexander stayed true to his word. He didn't just visit anymore, he became a constant part of Emily and Lily's lives. He was there for every little thing, showing them that he was committed to being there, not just in times of need, but in everyday moments. The ring, once a symbol of a lost love, now became a symbol of something new: hope, healing, and a second chance. Emily often caught herself looking at it, remembering the love they had once shared. It wasn't just the ring that mattered, it was the promise Alexander had made. A promise that he would never walk away again. Lily, who had always felt like something was missing, finally felt complete. She saw her mom smile more, and she could tell that Alexander's presence was filling the empty spaces in their lives. For the first time, their family felt whole again.